Once celebrities lived in a bubble of fame, wealth, and immunity, escaping consequences with high-powered lawyers and PR magic. But social media and public scrutiny have shattered that shield, exposing even the most powerful figures. No longer can a simple no comment erase scandals or crimes. From Hollywood moguls to music icons, many have fallen from grace, proving that fame can't outsmart justice. Today, we explore the shocking downfalls of stars who went from idolized to incarcerated. Number 10. Harvey Weinstein. If Hollywood had a kingpin in the early 2000s, it was Harvey Weinstein. He wasn't just a producer, he was the producer. If you were an aspiring actor, a writer, or a filmmaker, a call from Weinstein could change your life overnight. Unfortunately, it turns out he was also changing lives in the worst way possible. For decades, Weinstein wielded his power to exploit and assault women in the film industry. Many were newcomers, desperate for a break, only to find themselves trapped in his web of manipulation, coercion, and, in many cases, outright abuse. His influence was so vast that victims were afraid to speak out until the dam broke in 2017. The #MeToo movement, sparked by the courage of those who came forward, led to Weinstein's long-overdue downfall. In 2020, he was convicted of rape and sexual assault in New York and sentenced to 23 years in prison. But that wasn't the end. In 2023, he was convicted of additional charges in Los Angeles, adding another 16 years to his sentence. Weinstein's once mighty empire has crumbled, and his days of living in five-star hotels have been replaced with a far less glamorous existence behind bars. Given his age and declining health, including chronic myeloid leukemia, it's unlikely he'll ever leave prison alive, a stark contrast to the power he once held over Hollywood. Number 9. R. Kelly. If the early 2000s had a soundtrack, R. Kelly was behind most of it. His music dominated the charts, from wedding anthems like Step in the Name of Love to the inescapable I Believe I Can Fly. Unfortunately, his legacy is now overshadowed by something far darker. For decades, rumors and allegations of sexual misconduct followed Kelly, but his fame shielded him from real consequences. Even after that illegal marriage to 15-year-old Aaliyah, he continued his career without repercussions. But the real reckoning came in 2019 when a comprehensive investigation exposed the horrifying extent of his crimes. Kelly was convicted on multiple charges, including child pornography, sex trafficking, and racketeering. The singer, who once crooned about love, is now spending his days behind bars with a 31-year sentence. With no chance of parole until he's 80, it's safe to say that Kelly's career in freedom is officially over. Number 8. Danny Masterson. If you grew up watching that '70s show, you might remember Stephen Hyde as the laid-back, cool rebel with a dry sense of humor. Unfortunately, the man who played him, Danny Masterson, turned out to be anything but cool. In 2017, multiple women accused Masterson of sexual assault, with some claiming that the Church of Scientology actively worked to cover up his crimes. Though his first trial ended in a mistrial, the second one sealed his fate. He was convicted on 2 counts of rape and sentenced to 30 years to life in prison. Masterson will be eligible for parole in 20 years, but considering the severity of his crimes, he might never leave prison. Number 7. Ryan Grantham. Ryan Grantham's career was on the rise with roles in Riverdale and Supernatural. But instead of making headlines for his acting, he shocked the world with a horrifying crime, killing his own mother. In 2020, Grantham shot his mother in the back of the head while she played the piano. If that wasn't shocking enough, he then allegedly planned to assassinate Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Grantham pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and was sentenced to life in prison, with parole eligibility after 14 years. Given the severity of his crime, it remains to be seen whether he will ever walk free again. Number 6. Suge Knight. Suge Knight wasn't just a music producer, he was a hip-hop juggernaut. As the co-founder of Death Row Records, he helped launch the careers of Tupac Shakur, Dr. Dre, and Snoop Dogg. But while his label was known for its gangster rap, Knight himself lived the lifestyle a little too literally. Knight had a long history of violence, intimidation, and legal issues. In 2015, he was involved in a fatal hit-and-run incident that killed Terry Carter. Facing a third-strike felony, Knight was sentenced to 28 years in prison. At 69, he might not live long enough to see the outside world again. Number 5. Michael Jace. Michael Jace played a cop on The Shield, but his real-life story is one of heartbreak and horror. In 2014, during an argument with his wife, April, Jace shot and killed her in front of their children. His defense: a crime of passion. The court didn't buy it. He was sentenced to 40 years to life, ensuring that his Hollywood career and his freedom ended that day. Jace had once been a familiar face in Hollywood, known for playing authoritative roles, but his real-life actions shocked the world. The tragic murder not only destroyed his family, but also left his children with a trauma they would carry forever. Once a respected actor, he now lives behind bars, a stark reminder of how a moment of rage can lead to irreversible consequences. Number 4. Mel Hall. Mel Hall was once known for his baseball talent. Now he's infamous for something much darker. After retiring from the sport, Hall became a coach for young girls and used his position to prey on them. He was convicted of sexually abusing minors and sentenced to 45 years in prison. Given the nature of his crimes, he will likely die behind bars. Number 3. John War Machine Copenhaver. John War Machine Copenhaver had everything going for him in the MMA world. But outside the ring, he was a violent ticking time bomb. In 2014, he brutally attacked his ex-girlfriend, Christy Mack, leaving her with life-threatening injuries. His violent past caught up with him when he was convicted of 29 felonies, including attempted murder and kidnapping. He will spend the rest of his life in prison. Number 2. Corey C. Murder Miller. Corey C. Murder Miller was convicted in 2002 for the fatal shooting of 16-year-old Steve Thomas. He has always maintained his innocence, but despite multiple appeals and efforts by high-profile figures like Kim Kardashian, his life sentence remains unchanged. Over the years, new evidence and witness recantations have fueled the fight for his freedom, but legal hurdles continue to stand in the way. Supporters argue that his conviction was based on unreliable testimony and an unfair trial process. Despite the setbacks, his family and advocates remain committed to seeking justice and overturning his conviction. Number 1. Joey Sun. Joey Sun, best known for his role in Austin Powers, was convicted of a brutal rape case and later murdered his cellmate in prison. His violent behavior ensured that he will never walk free again. Once a comedic side character on the big screen, Sun's real-life story turned into a nightmare of crime and brutality. His downfall serves as a chilling reminder that the darkest criminals can sometimes hide in plain sight. Despite his Hollywood connections and brief MMA career, his legacy is now one of violence and horror. His crimes shocked the entertainment industry, forever tainting his name with unimaginable cruelty. Well, that's it, folks. If you ever thought celebrity life was all glitz and glamour, think again. Sometimes it comes with a prison jumpsuit. If you found this video intriguing, smash that like button like a Hollywood scandal. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss another jaw-dropping story. Stay tuned, stay entertained, and stay out of trouble.